So what achievement are you most proud of in your role so far?
The development that I've seen in myself at Sage. Over the 10 years, I've developed a lot. I almost feel like I've grown up professionally at the business now, and come a long way. But in addition to that, there's a lot of colleagues that I've mentored along the way, I guess. And as I've been here a bit longer, then become a line manager, seeing their development and where they've got to and what they're achieving. That's genuinely one of the biggest and happiest things that I've got out of the 10 years that I've been here. What about you so far?
I think for me, the thing that I'm probably most proud of would be the campaigns that I'm involved in. So I'm quite a snazzy one. So it's the EFL partnership.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And I've loved football. I've played it since I was a little kid and stuff. And then to now be involved on the other side and do the marketing for Sage within this partnership has just been incredible. So I'm from London, and about a month ago I was back home visiting family, and I had a very full circle moment. I was on the tube and I saw the assets that we created for the EFL up there, and I was just so proud of myself for how far I'd come in such a short span of time, because I've only been here for about 4 months, and to see the work that I helped assist with and had a part in creating up there in person was just incredible. It was just a really cool full circle moment for me.
So tell me a little bit about your hardest challenge you faced at Sage so far and how you overcame it.
Do you know, the hardest thing, the most challenging bit of work that I've had so far in my career in general is a project that I'm working on at the moment. And it's not necessarily the technical aspects. Like if you break each piece down, which actually you should, right? Then each thing is solvable. It's just that there are so many different work streams. And I think the thing that I've really learned as part of this is focus on finishing things rather than starting things, and also lean into, specialists.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, so back when I was coming out of university, I had a really sort of firm idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a programmer, and that was my set career for myself. And as I got here sort of a year in, I realised my skill set and the self-awareness that I was developing on the grad scheme was kind of telling me that I had a lot of skills that maybe weren't getting used in the role as a programmer. And I think given the access to those experts, to all the knowledge that runs throughout the company, it became apparent that there were other opportunities for me and I wasn't stuck within that role. And I spent the next year of the grad scheme finishing up my role as a programmer, but also learning about solution design. And I've taken those skills that weren't necessarily getting used and completely pivoted them. And now my opinionated personality is useful. It's not just arriving.
Your role, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not arriving too late in the process. I get to affect the process.
Yeah.
What makes Sage unique to attract young talent compared to other companies?
Sage is so unique in that there's not many companies you can go to where you could start in sales or tech support and move to customer service, product, marketing, finance. It's almost like the world is your oyster at Sage. There's so many different avenues that you can go down, and we're big ambassadors of the squiggly careers, and my career's been quite squiggly. I started in campaign management and I now work in the product org, and I never thought over 10 years ago when I started that I would be working in product. But you've actually got a really good example of how you've navigated different roles in different parts of the business, haven't you, Jack?
Yeah, so I started Sage back in 2022 in the sales department, and I was working on our small segment, speaking to customers who had billing queries, account cancellation requests in our retentions team. So it was a great learning experience. It was very hands-on with so many of our customers, but sales wasn't, should I say, exactly the sort of area that my skill set was best served in. As it turns out, it was over in the digital marketing space. So in my role, I still end up working with sales. I now quite like yourself, I work in between sort of campaign management, I work with developers, and I'm working on our Sage.com testing. I think as an early careers colleague, I've never been in a position where I've not felt as if there's not been faith in the work that I've been able to produce, and that's something that I think is, in all honesty, absolutely unique about Sage.